Hello and welcome, dear friends of gartenschlau.com. Here you can see my Caracara orange from the last video. It has such beautiful sucker shoots here. In the last video I mentioned that I cut the shoots at the top so that they don't grow any further. And now the question was asked under the video, which is better for the shoots? Is it better to cut them out right away or to wait until spring to cut them out? In principle, that is the best thing you can do. As soon as you see that sucker shoots have developed, you should cut them out. You can tell quite well on the plant where these shoots have started, and you cut just below that point. With citrus plants, you always make sure to cut just above a dormant bud, so that at the spot where the old branch is, the old shoot has been removed, the whole area can heal, and from that spot, practically a new fruiting wood can develop. There are basically two pruning methods for lemons. One is the training cut and the other is the maintenance cut. The training cut can basically be done throughout the whole year. These are always smaller pruning tasks. In other words, when you notice there is now a shoot that is growing into the plant, these are two shoots that are growing relatively parallel, and you want to keep one. And then there is, of course, the training cut, which you can definitely do, and the maintenance cut, that's what you do in the spring. Here is a good example. I can cut this out now. This would be a dried up shoot, which falls under the topic of maintenance pruning. So basically everything that has to do with maintaining the health of the plant, to maintain, is part of the maintenance cut, and everything that belongs to the training cut are things that simply shape the plant. Basically, the main dates are in early spring or late winter, when the plant is more or less still in a bit of a resting phase. And then before it can sprout and develop further, that's when you do the main pruning measures. And otherwise, throughout the year, as I said, you take smaller cuts, like when a sucker is coming. Then you can cut it out, just like with this sucker, for example. The case is, you have to take a look. The best spot is to cut it out just above a round bud. And we can do that with this shoot as well. In this case, on one shoot there were two suckers, which means you take out one sucker accordingly. The one sucker, the other one too. And that ensures that the energy in the plant doesn't go into the sucker shoot, because it also takes the energy and nutrients, it completely takes them away, essentially sucked up the water more strongly. Everything that means energy for growth is taken away by this sucker shoot. And we want to make the most of it now while it's still over 20 degrees outside in full sun. That the citrus trees can really develop nicely, blooming, possibly still bearing fruit. And that's the main reason why you remove such suckers. Would the plant grow wild in nature now? It wouldn't be so dramatic. Then it could shoot up however it wants. It would naturally develop as it wishes. We always have this tendency to want to train everything, and that's why it's not bad to have it on the terrace when we remove the suckers, because then the tree stays nice and compact and it grows and flourishes. Not the way he considers right for himself. Yes, oh, that's a nice sucker. Basically, you can't really make a cutting from that. The problem with the whole thing is that a cutting needs to be a bit woody. That is why shooters are generally included in the compost bag or onto the compost heap, and then you can continue with the plant from there. How do you recognize a sucker? A sucker is a shoot that grows very quickly. That's also where the name sucker comes from. And it shoots the water, so to speak, into the shoot and takes the energy away from the plant. I hope I was able to explain a bit about the topic of water suckers or sucker shoots. In summary, you can say that as soon as it appears, just cut it out, because it takes energy away from the plant. You can do that all year round. You can also do the training cut throughout the whole year. If a shoot is growing sideways somewhere or it doesn't develop that way as you like, how it is. During the spring pruning, you notice that the plant is really well cut, but then you realize over the course of the year, something is growing there that shouldn't be. That's the training cut. And the maintenance cut is basically what happens in spring, or what happens over the winter, for example, that you want to improve. In spring, so that the plant doesn't get sick. Yes, I hope I was able to summarize that. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, I would say see you in the next video. I'm just going to remove the last 2 water suckers and then we'll see each other again. See you then.